and we're going to go over this. So when we're subtracting, what goes right here? What invisible coefficient? That 1. Remember that 1. And it only goes to the second parentheses. And so I have 8x squared. I just rewrite the first one. And now what's that positive 5x squared going to change to? Negative 5x squared. What's that going to change to? Positive 3x. And what's that going to change to? Negative 2. And so I saw some people doing the families, right? Like x squared, x, and the number. So you can put it as a table, or you can just combine like terms. So 8x squared goes to my x squared, and negative 5, don't drop that negative, goes right here. What's 8 minus 5? Good, 3x squared. So I know it starts with a 3x squared. Which ones don't start with 3x squared? There's C and D. Cross them out. So another thing we're going to work on is like test taking skills, right? And so your final, besides the open-ended performance final, is all multiple choice. So you guys have that tool to cross things out. Make sure you're not wasting your time. I know it can't be that because I just did this right here. Then I look at my x's. So I have positive 2x, positive 3. And do you guys see what they did to trick you? They said, oh, Christopher's totally going to drop his negative and add it and get 13. Those answer choices are on purpose. That's why they put them there. So 2 plus 3, 5x. And so I know it's got to be B. And then if I did my constants real quick, just to check, negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. And so I know that's my answer. Does that make sense? All right, next one's perimeter. So if this side's 5x plus 2, what's this side going to be? Yeah, it's the rectangle. There's a lot of similar questions on your interim to this, and these perimeter area questions are ones that a lot of us got wrong. If this is 3x plus 8, what's this side? Yeah. And so if we're finding the perimeter, are we multiplying or adding? Adding. We're combining all the like terms. So let's look at the x's. We have 3x plus 5x plus 3x plus 5x. What do you end up getting? 16x. You can put them into a table too. Then your constants, we have positive 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 8. What do you get? Plus 20. So that would be your perimeter. How many people got that? Give me a thumbs up. Beautiful.
No, I don't.
Is there one that you need help understanding? Well, we're going to go over the first one. So all you're doing is, if it's a minus, you put in an invisible 1 right there, and you just multiply each of these by negative 1. Or you can go, okay, what's 8 minus 5? Oh, it's 3. What's 2 minus negative 3? You just can't forget that negative, because what does minus and negative turn into? Plus. So what's 2 plus 3? 5. Negative 6 minus positive 2? Negative 8. So you can always do that. All right, so today we're going to be doing multiplying. And so we know if they say perimeter, you guys told me we add. So be careful. If they say area, we're multiplying. One of these type of questions, or 1 or 2 on your interim, I decided to leave it till the end right here. So there was one of these area questions that will look familiar, but they were on your interim, which was fine. I didn't want to teach it to you because I wanted to start at this one. All right, so we're going to start by doing a monomial, which means 1 term, remember mono, and binomial, which means 2 terms. And so we're on this first. We have 2 sets of notes today, so you may want to color code this. If you don't, that's fine too. So this says when we multiply polynomials, because remember, it doesn't have to have a multiplication sign. Distributing is multiplying. We multiply the coefficients. And so remember, coefficients are the numbers next to the variables. And add the exponents of like variables. And so this is on the little sheet. Yeah, this is your notes. So they're on that top sheet right under there. So how we solve this is when we're multiplying, see all these letters, this is one of your delta maths, but it's actually some monomial and a monomial. So you multiply the numbers. So what's negative 5 times 3? Negative 15. And then you look at the variable. So if you see how this is a squared and this is a to the 4th, we can combine those so we get a and we add the exponents. What's 2 plus 4? 6. And so I didn't want to confuse you because perimeter, a lot of people start adding exponents, but you don't do that in perimeter. You only do that when you're multiplying or in area. So I don't want to confuse you by putting that in the first unit. Then here's b and b to the 3rd. It could just be, what's the invisible exponent? 1, right? So what's b to the 1st times b to the 3rd? B to the 4th. Then plus, we just do it again. Negative 5 times 6. What's negative 5 times 6? Negative 30. Then we only could combine like one. So what's a squared times a squared? Or a to the 4th. And then b to the 1st times b to the 3rd, b to the 4th. And that's your answer. So why I did that, your perimeter and adding and subtracting your two now is because I don't want you to confuse perimeter and adding with multiplying. And I was scared you were going to do that first unit, so I saved it for now. Does this make sense? Okay, why don't you guys try the first one on your practice, and then or try the first 3 on your practice, and then we're going to move on. Do you want me to go over one more with you? Okay. So I'll go over one more with you. This row is all that practice. So I'm actually going to go over. No. So I'll do that. So right here, I know the numbers. I'm going to multiply, right? So 2 and 5. What is 2 times 5? 10. And then I have x, and they're the same letter. So what's 2 plus 4? 6. Cool. Minus, what's the invisible coefficient in front of right here? 1, right? So what's 2 times 1? 2. And then what's the invisible exponent next to x? 1. So make sure each one is its own thing. Each letter is separate. So right here we have x squared times x to the 1st, which would be how many x's? 2 plus 1. 3. And that y, there is no y I could combine it with, right? So I'm just adding in, he's piggyback off that term. So if you can't combine it or there are not left variables, it just gets added on to the end. And so this would be my answer. Does that make sense? Okay, try the next 2 real quick, and then we're going to go to the last part of this. So try the next 2, see if you can do it. So the next thing we're going over is right here. So this is multiplying polynomials. So you can see now we have 2 terms, right? So this is your second, and this is the most important one, because this is what we're going to be using for the next little while. Yes. Just put a 1 right there. Put 1. Okay, so I'm teaching you 3. Some of you guys took algebra 1 before and you have like a preferred method. I'm teaching you all 3 ways to do it. And so if Charlie really likes distributive property and she gets it, and like she doesn't even want to listen to the rest, that's totally fine. I'm showing you all 3 ways to multiply polynomials. You're picking the one that makes sense to you. So you don't need to know all 3 ways. Yeah. So I'm going to start with box method. And so I'm not going to provide you a box. You're going to have to make a box. And so we know the only difference between our do now, right, and this is that there's no sign in between them. So we know that automatically we're going to be multiplying if there's no plus or minus sign. So box method, you're going to have to draw a box. And then I take one of the terms, so let's do x minus 2, and I put it like this, x minus 2. So I already see people getting started. I take the second term, which is x plus 3, and I put it right there. And so don't forget the signs too. But remember, you're going to have to draw the box. So like I'm providing it in here, but like most of my students, if you're more of a visual learner, and you guys know each other, you guys know yourselves best. If you're someone who's more a visual learner, you're going to probably prefer this method. And so all you're doing is finding the area of each box. So for example, what is x times x? Remember, it's invisible ones. X squared. So x times x, x squared. What's x times negative 2? Negative 2x. Then we come down here. What's 3 times x? 3x. And 3 times negative 2. So I'm going to pause. And so, like, maybe you're not a more visual learner. Maybe you like to just, like, you're more, like, I'll show you this is visual too. But if you get this, like, use it every time. If you don't, then don't use it. You can use one of the other ones. And so now all you do is you rewrite what's in your box. X squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. Then you combine like terms. Which ones have the same last name? Negative 2x and 3x. What is negative 2 plus 3? What is 3 minus 2? 1x, right? Or you could just write x. And so your answer is x squared plus 1x because it's positive minus 6. Yeah, that's the answer. This is multiplying. So I'm going to use the same problem 3 different ways. You're like if you get this and you know this is going to be your favorite, start doing the path or just start doing the practice. Distributive property is like this. So I'm going to have x minus 2 and x plus 3. Also, right here, it doesn't matter if I wanted to write x plus 3 up here and x minus 2 down here. It doesn't matter the order. You're still going to get the same answer. And so this is my storyline one, distributive property. So I just always say, like, the first couple, x minus 2, they broke up, right? So x and minus 2, don't forget the sign, they broke up. They're no longer together. But the second couple, they need to go visit both their friends and make sure they're okay. So we got x plus 3. That couple's got to visit both of them. So the first couple broke up. Second couple's got to visit both of them. And then all you do is multiply. So I'm going to rewrite it. So move it over a little bit. Sorry. So x plus 3. Does everyone get what I did right here?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Then all you're doing is multiplying. What's x times x? X squared. X times 3. Positive 3x. Negative 2 times x. Negative 2x. I'm putting under here because they're like terms. And negative 2 times 3. Negative 6. And then you're just combining like terms. So x squared, I move down. What's 3 minus 2? 1x minus 6. Same answer? Same answer? Just different way to do it. So like if you, usually these are the two that most students pick. I'll teach you FOIL too, but like if one of these methods you totally get and you can just get started, like go for it. FOIL's the last one, and mostly like students who are just like go, like very algebraically like inclined with themselves, usually do FOIL. Like I learned FOIL. I didn't learn these other two ways when I was growing up. We only were taught FOIL, but these are more visual and probably better ways to do it. So FOIL just stands for first, outer, inner, last. And so like if you don't get this way, then like don't do it. But a lot of people do like this way. So I have x, the equation with x minus 2 and x plus 3. first means multiply the first terms. So what's x times x? X squared. Outer terms, the outside terms like these two. What's x times 3? 3x. Inner terms, what's negative 2 times x? Negative 2x. And the last terms, negative 2 times positive 3, negative 6. And same thing as before, you just combine like terms and we'll get the same answer. X squared plus 1x minus 6. I find that people with foiling, unless you're like really good at it, a lot of people make more mistakes because they don't understand what inner and outer and all that is. So like pick which way you like the best and use it. Like you don't need to use all 3 ways. I'm just showing you. Yeah, so if it's distributed property, it's a lot of people like box method if you're a more visual learner. And some people like this, and you can just look at it and get and write the answer down. So you're picking which way you want. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so like, does everyone have this
No.
down? Okay, I'll give you another minute, and I'm going to show you how to do the last box on the first page. I'm going to show you how to do the last box on the first page. That's one that a lot of people are going to. So if something's square, what does that mean is happening? It's multiplying by itself, right? So I'll come back to this in a second if you still need to write it down. But when it's multiplying by itself, right here, if I see a square, all that means is x minus 2 and x minus 2. You just rewrite it like this. So if you see that square, a lot of people just square each term. Don't do that. You're just writing it twice and solving it. So how many people like the box method for that? Raise your hand. How many people like distributed property? And then how many people like FOIL? Yep. So I could call who like what before you guys even wrote it. Because I know how you guys think. So what you're going to do, if you're doing box method, I'll do that one first. I make my box, right? And I take the first one, x minus 2. It doesn't matter if you put it at the top or bottom. I mean, this one's the same one anyways. And then this one, x minus 2. And then you're just multiplying. So what's x times x? X squared. Negative 2 times x. Negative 2x. Negative 2 times x. And negative 2 times negative 2. 4. And so don't forget, don't mess up the signs also, because that's what a lot of people do as well. And then I just combine my terms. X squared, there's not another one. I could see negative 2 plus negative 2. What is negative 2 plus negative 2?
0.
That's where we get that mistake. What's negative 2 plus negative 2? 4. Negative 4. And that's where that answer 0 will be there for you. You'll do that on purpose. Plus 4. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so your delta math is exactly like this too. And so I want to go over one more with you, which is the bottom. And this was what was on your interim. So does anyone remember seeing something like this, like find the area of something? So that was on your interim. So I'm gonna go over that one. So it's at the bottom. I'm gonna go over this one right here. Find the area of a rectangle with a length of 3x plus 2. It's on the back of that page. Beautiful. So first thing, and this class, make sure I remember this was an issue. I'm going over this and then I'm done. So rectangle, when it says a rectangle, what should you draw on your paper? A rectangle. A lot of people I remember in this class wouldn't draw it and it would mess you up. So here's my rectangle. So I know my length is 3x plus 2 and my width is 4x plus 10. And they want to find the area. And so if they said perimeter, I would put this over there just like we did on our do now. So you got to pay attention to those words. Area means I'm going to be multiplying. So you can do the box method if you want. You can do distributive property or FOIL. So it looks something like that. I'm going to do distributive property. So remember, what happened to this first couple? They broke up. Boo-hoo. Poor couple. But this couple's still friends with them, so they got to go visit them. And then you just multiply. So remember, we got to multiply the coefficients. What's 4 times 3? 12. And then what's x times x? 4x times 2? 8x. 10 times 3x? 30x. And then 10 times 2? Just 20. So it looks something like this. Then I add, so 12x squared can scroll down. 8 plus 30 is just 38x. And plus 20. I'm going to go back to what we learned first unit. Who can raise their hand for a brain buck and tell me what is the degree? Jalen. What's the degree of this polynomial? This is going to be on your final. 2. Beautiful. How did you know that? It's like a degree sign. It's your highest exponent. Beautiful. Who can raise their hand and tell me what is the leading coefficient?
I got this.
I got it.
12. It's the coefficient in front of the degree. Beautiful. Who can raise their hand and tell me the constant? Christopher. Beautiful. Positive 20. And then who could tell me what type of polynomial this is? Trinomial, because there's 3 certain. So like those things, constant was on your interim too. So you want to make sure you remember those things as well. You are going to have